Attention! Shocking information is waiting for you, which is not usually talked about. Have you ever heard about a giant underwater structure that divides our planet into almost two equal parts? In this video we will thoroughly analyze this mysterious topic and reveal all the secrets of the Great White Wall at the bottom of the Pacific Ocean. Why official science carefully hides information about this colossal object? Why any serious data are censored and disappear from archives and the internet? We will talk about what experienced sailors and submariners know, and why they prefer to keep quiet. Stay tuned to the end for all the details. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, put a like and leave a comment. Your opinion is very important to us. The mysterious structure, which scientists dubbed the Great White Wall back in 2010, when the latest official studies of this mysterious underwater object were not yet so taboo, runs deep along the bottom of the Pacific Ocean from Antarctica to the Arctic. Its length is almost 20,000 kilometers, width varies from 1 kilometer to 4 kilometers, and the height in some places reaches 6 kilometers, depending on the depth of a particular place in the ocean. At the same time, the wall has a different character of structure throughout its entire length. In some places supporting columns and buttresses are clearly visible, somewhere there are structures resembling gates in the wall or sluices. Somewhere there are elevations next to the wall of pyramidal shape and obviously of artificial origin. And somewhere the wall is covered with silt, sand, or underwater clay. In certain locations on the wall clearly traces of damage, which leave a strange impression. As if there is some kind of metal or some other rot inside this wall. It is noteworthy that in official publications not infrequently appear entertaining scientific articles that in the ocean, in the area where this wall of the earth there are various ancient architectural structures that may have belonged to ancient civilizations. However, the very fact of the existence of the Great Wall of the Earth is carefully, at the same time, silenced by official science. It should also be noted that the first hypothesis about the existence of a great underwater wall of the Earth put forward by scientists when they became interested in the phenomenon of square icebergs in the area of the Ross Sea in Antarctica. It was during the study of the nature of the origin of square icebergs, oceanologists came across a mysterious giant object, which in shape resembled a huge wall and rested deep into the coastline of the icy continent. To better understand the essence of the question of the mystery of the great underwater wall of the Earth, we should turn to history. In 1884, the world community adopted the Greenwich meridian as the zero meridian. It got its name from the Greenwich Laboratory in London, through which it passes, the very place where, as is known, the world countdown of global time. Among the scientists who heatedly argued about the choice of the zero meridian then there was a very mysterious man, a Canadian of Scottish descent, Sir Sandford Fleming. According to unverified information, Fleming was a member of one of the Masonic lodges, where he held an influential position. According to his version, the zero meridian should have been held exactly where the underwater wall is located, that is, according to Fleming's version, the countdown of time should begin with 180 meridian. It is noteworthy that the 180th meridian itself is like a mirror image of the modern zero meridian. It is with the 180th meridian, which unlike the Greenwich meridian divides the world into today and tomorrow and coincides with the great underwater white wall. And still I wonder why Fleming's proposals were rejected and the Greenwich meridian was chosen. Maybe then it would have become all too obvious to everyone? Since about 2010 in the internet began to appear photos and videos of the great underwater wall, which managed to capture bloggers and various enthusiasts on various online maps and navigation services, exploring the world's oceans. And also expert comments of scientists and sailors, who very cautiously proved the presence of a strange giant structure on the bottom of the Pacific Ocean. Unfortunately, now we have to use the preserved photo and video materials. After all, in 2019, the mysterious construction of colossal dimensions was simply and roughly cut from all online maps, and not only online. And official science abruptly stopped the research of the strange underwater object. For the first time, the Great Wall of the Earth was noticed on Google Maps, and on the eve of the removal of this object, Google representatives said that this is just a bug in the program, that it is just a glue between the images of the underwater surface of the Earth, which formed such a bizarre scene when superimposed on each other. But if it is just a bug of the program, then why in some places on Google Maps you can still see roughly smeared pyramids, gates, places of destruction of the wall, as well as formations resembling sluices and other strange artificial architectural objects? Well, and about height differences we cannot even mention. Everything is very rough and as if hastily covered up. Now, almost the entire length of the wall can be observed, only a blurred ocean floor, and Google programmers no longer comment on the information about the great underwater wall of the Earth. It is noteworthy that the first mentions of the giant underwater structure appeared long before the emergence of the global internet. For example, there is a certain prophecy about the White King and the great underwater wall. It is recorded in the book of the prophet Zechariah. In the text of this prophecy it is said about some White King Zerubbabel, who at some moment of time should reveal to the whole world a great white wall. Allegedly the great white wall is the cornerstone, which will throw off from all mankind the shackles of the world lie and awaken people, showing them the real truth of existence. But if we talk about today, then traces of the mysterious wall can be found on the archipelago of Fiji. The wall, as you can see on the map, crosses the island of Tavuni. Experienced divers, and we have talked about it with you many times, and the channel even has a video that will pop out at you in the tips in the upper right corner of the screen, as well as in the description to this video, have long been trying to explore the Great White Wall in the area of the Fiji Islands. However, diving there is allowed only in one place, where the wall has grown a picturesque coral reef. Surprisingly, lost divers on the surface are met by an armed patrol without identifying signs, which very politely and insistently asks not to deviate from the tourist route. And if the diver had with him video or photo equipment and he swam accidentally in an unauthorized place, it will be confiscated and all photo and video material will be removed under the pretext of caring for the local environment. Another interesting fact is that in the north of the Fiji archipelago there is another island, Ravi, whose most part is covered with obviously photoshopped clouds. In the network is circulating information that in this area for quite a long time there are secret studies of the Great White Wall, and the islands that are located directly in this area for many, many decades in advance rented by some powerful corporation. By the way, it may well be the same corporation that is conducting secret excavations in Antarctica, which we have also talked about more than once on the channel. Official science very diligently silences the fact of the Great White Wall in the Pacific Ocean. It is noteworthy that in the Internet archives you can still find official scientific publications of the past years, which indirectly mention a giant underwater structure that runs from pole to pole on the bottom of the Pacific Ocean. For example, in the authoritative scientific journal Nature Geoscience a few years ago there appeared a series of articles about Antarctica, where researchers describe in detail the phenomenon of perfectly flat square or rectangular icebergs on the icy continent near the Ross Sea. Just where, until very recently, the very same giant wall of the Earth was clearly visible on maps. Surprisingly, but in these scientific publications scientists directly point to some underwater stone structure of colossal size, which somehow affects the formation of square icebergs. Also in these publications another remarkable fact is mentioned. According to scientists, this wall goes far into the depths of Antarctica and divides it almost exactly in half. One part of the icy continent has a clearly monolithic character of relief, and the other clearly volcanic nature of origin. What does this mean? Antarctica, it turns out, is divided into two completely different in its natural origin of the territory? Or maybe the underwater wall of the Earth is part of the mythical ice wall of Antarctica? Another interesting detail from scientific publications that is worth mentioning. According to scientists, the great underwater wall of the Earth plays a huge role in many natural processes of our planet, and this relationship should definitely be studied. However, this is where official studies and publications about the wall and its impact on the planet end. As on an invisible command, all scientists and scientific publications stopped suddenly sharply interested in the giant underwater structure at the bottom of the Pacific Ocean. Who and why banned official research about the giant underwater wall? Why is information about it silenced and deleted? And most importantly, who, when and why built the great underwater wall of the Earth from pole to pole? There are more questions than answers.